receive a tat in a way we are going to receive her today. I happen to be a daughter-in-law, and I think I will have to address it from a family perspective, not from a political perspective. Much as in Parliament, she was one person who would reprimand me all the time, right from the time that I joined Parliament in the 9th Parliament, to show me what to do, to show me how to behave, and to show me how to balance politics and family. So I had the benefit to got all those kind of induction from her. But also, as a little child, as I was growing, my home in Lira, where my parents are, was very close to a campaign venue. So I would see her as a young child campaigning and tussling it with men. So I think I've been this very privileged girl, and again a privileged woman who got married into the family. But lastly, as Lango, we have lost a star, somebody that we always looked upon to all guidance, anything developmental, anything concerning Lao and even national issues. So we have really lost. And I think I also got the best guidance, teachings, and some of them would be like reprimanding me, do this, come here, do this, even in Parliament. I was being fed like a child in that very Parliament. And we were too with Honorable Lusakello, where she would call us, now this thing is coming, now be on the floor, you know, that kind of guidance. I also have a blessing that she was the Secretary General of UPC, and I'm the whip of UPC in the Parliament of Uganda. So we have really lost a mother, we have really lost our teacher, we have really lost a mentor.
So, when I was a family member, can we just give us a brief history of the medical report of the late former member of Parliament? We all got to know that she had gone. That is on Thursday. Are there some moments where she has been feeling not well, either this year or sometime back?
I think the medical record, I'm not the best person placed to speak about her medical condition. But however, we used to have these jokes between me and her as a daughter-in-law. She would feed me that, you know, at old age you will be the one to massage my legs, cook for me the traditional foods and things like that. So on a lighter note, that's how she would prepare me as a young woman, how to behave, and as a young woman, how to wait at that appropriate time to cook for her, to massage the legs and things like that. But for her sickness, I think I'm not best placed to give you the details.
Lastly, as a family member, what is the arrangement back home in Lango?
Yeah, as a family member already, we are well positioned. Meetings are going on at home in Alito, where she will be buried. There are serious preparation going on. The district has come, the entire Lango sub-region. We have all come together to give her a befitting send-off.
Thank you, Honorable Santa. Well, we shall continue giving you more of those interruptions and probably eulogies over this same matter, because we know very many people have closely worked with the late, have related with the late, and they will be giving us more of what they know, what kind of person has Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal has been, and probably, as you have heard from the Member of Parliament, she has been everything to her, especially for that experience and also bringing her up and even showing her the right way to take when it comes to politics. I'm joined with another Honorable Member of Parliament here, and we want to continue giving you this as we wait for the body, which we are expecting that by exactly, I think, 3 p.m., the body would have landed here in Kampala, and we shall proceed with the day's program. Honorable, yes, it is indeed the third afternoon.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm Judy Saliek. I'm a Member of Parliament for Kole District, and I'm also the chairperson of Lango Parliamentary Group. Wow. Yes.
In what way can you describe the late?
Well, I knew the late when I was still very young. because she has been a political icon in Lango sub-region and in Uganda in general. So all along have been consulting her. Actually, she has been a political consultant, a political historical that is remembered by each and every person if you had known her before. So now that we have lost her, I think by being a politician and a good leader in this country, we are going to miss a very, very key person in the development of Uganda, because she will not let anything go without either criticizing it or appreciating it, or, she has been leading in very many fora. She has been a member of parliament coming from Lango sub-region, married in Kole district, where I come from. And that is where she's going to be buried, in Kole district. So I've been there, She first of all was a member of parliament of Lira municipality. By then she shifted to Dokolo, her home district. That was where she was born. So all along, she has been our consultant. Atat has been the longest serving member of parliament in Lango sub-region. That's what I know.
How did she make it to this point?
Which point are you talking about?
Being the longest serving member.
Goodness. Atat started working as a politician, even right from the time when she was a student. Yes, that is what she used to tell us. She started when she was a student. So she continued with her political career until she passed on last week. So we are really mourning her. We have missed her. But all the same, she has already shown us the way. She has already shown us how to handle issues politically and how we can keep on interacting with other political parties. I know she was not an NRM. She was in opposition. But she did not segregate. Whenever we could come to her as our elder from Lango, she has also been a member of my forum as Lango.
Let's cut it short. Well, we want to end it from there, then turn to the arrival of the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Anita Among. If my camera person can just give you those live images. Here are members of Parliament led by Commissioner Solomon Serwanyi. I see Honorable Elijah Okupa, Honorable Abdu Katuntu. They are all lining here to receive the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Among. That is the convoy, and as soon as the Speaker gets here, we will automatically continue with our broadcast and getting more of the discussions and the insights here about the late, probably from members of Parliament and close relatives and friends. So we will also be switching to our Uganda audience, not to leave anyone behind, probably for even Rusoga, because the person I will be inviting here next is a very good and conversant with Uganda. So that's the arrival of the Chief Whip, Hamson Obua. There is Honorable Peter Ogwaal. The Speaker is now there, Right Honorable Anita Among. He's shaking hands there with the Chief Whip, Honorable Peter Ogwaal also there, Honorable Serwanyi. That's Abdu Katuntu, that's a hug. Then Elijah Okupa and members of Parliament from different constituencies, and probably here for those members of Parliament, mainly from Lango sub-region. That's the Speaker being led into the waiting tent here, already erected here at Entebbe International Airport, for her and colleagues, members of Parliament, as they wait for the arrival of the body of the departed now Member of Parliament for Dokoro District, and that is Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal. We will, of course, from now switch to Uganda as we wait for other engagements. Then we will also, I have seen here Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng, the Minister for Health, is among those people who have already made their way here. Of course, she comes from Lango sub-region, and this is the daughter of the soil. She is here to join other colleagues, members of Parliament, dignitaries, VVIPs, and probably members of the family who are also coming here to witness this. Of course, it is sad but historical, because it happens once in a lifetime of all of us. we don't think that most of us will qualify for what we are going to witness here, where the government of Uganda, under the leadership of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the president, has granted an official burial to Cecilia Ogwaal. I want to hand back to the broadcast house, but then we will keep, before we get a summary of what we have been just getting some insights from members of parliament, and what you have to agree with me is one or two, that the departed member of parliament has been a very, very unifying figure, not only in Lango sub-region, but then on the other side, she has mentored and generations of politicians, like a few members of parliament we have interacted with here. They probably speak to the fact that if it wasn't her hand, they wouldn't be even standing here today to give this testimony. So we expect more of these testimonies to come here, or probably wherever they will be getting an opportunity to speak about the late. And it gives a lesson and to those who are remaining back, or even those who hope to step into her legs, because we know now that she has departed politicians. We are very funny. They will be starting now from day one. In fact, ever since the news of her demise came in, I expect there are one or two young ladies who are now preparing themselves to ensure that they take up this position. But that will come on in a later stage. For now, Phoebus, I want to hand back to you, but probably when we get the updates of the arrival of the body, we will automatically come back from Entebbe International Airport. Back to Nile Avenue.
Well, thanks, Robert Onyango. That's the situation that you're seeing at Entebbe International Airport, where the Speaker of Parliament has already arrived with a delegation of MPs, even those MPs from the Lango sub-region and those from Acholi. All of them have been stationed at the airport to receive the Speaker. But the bigger picture is that the Speaker is going to receive the body of the fallen MP, Cecilia Barbara Atim Ogwaal. Barbara Atim Ogwaal passed on last week in India. This is a lady who started her journey as a politician way back in the 70s. She became popular when she took over during 1985, when she became the acting Secretary General of the UPC. That was shortly after toppling President Milton Obote. So she became the acting Secretary General of the Uganda People's Congress up to 1992. From 1992, we saw Cecilia Ogwaal participating in the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. That was the Constituency Assembly, where she participated vehemently until when the Constitution was delivered in 1995. Thereafter, Cecilia Ogwaal, we saw in 2006, she lost her bid she lost her parliamentary seat to the son of former president of Uganda, Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. She lost her parliamentary bid to Jimmy Akena. Since then, Jimmy Akena has been an MP for that place for leader. Then we did see she bounced back. And since then, she has been the MP of that place until when she made her last breath last week in India. So that's the woman now that we are celebrating. We are celebrating and remembering her lifetime on earth. She has been very instrumental in arbitrations in Parliament. Okay, now we are going in for Jethro Kasaija, who's also stationed at Entebbe International Airport, to give us the Luganda version and probably mixing up, also giving us flavors in Lusoga about what is going on. Jethro, over to you. Well, there is we apologize for that technical glitch that has happened, but we shall be getting back to Jethro once our technical team has fixed that technical glitch that has taken place at the airport. But continuing talking about Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal, whom we are remembering tonight and waiting for his body at Entebbe International Airport. Cecilia Ogwaal has been so instrumental, more especially in mediations in Parliament. I remember while I was reporting in Parliament, I remember Cecilia Ogwaal at the height of misunderstandings between the late Jacob Olanya and then Speaker Rebecca Kadaga. She played a very instrumental role in mediating the two warring parties. Now we are getting back to Entebbe International Airport, where Jethro Kasaiji, my friend, is stationed to give us what is taking place at the airport in Luganda version. Jethro, I hand over to you.
Buterevu balenyo mugana nge basinja kusooka okwetonda olw'eyembeera esoosa okubaawo tukuweereza buterevu nga tusinzira wano kisawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe wabula ng'eggwanga lyagwamu ekiyongobero ku lwokuna lwa ssabbiiti eno yennyini oluvannyuma lw'okufuna amawulire ag'okufa kw'omubaka omukyala abadde akiikira ab'eddokolo mu Parliament Cecilia Ogwaal. We twogerera wano we tuyimiridde olunaku olwaleero Speaker Parliament Anita Anet Among yamaze okuba nga ate atuuka kubanga ate ye mugenyi omukulu agenda okuba nga ate ayaniriza omubiri gw'omugenzi Cecilia Ogwaal. Si ye yekka, waliwo n'abaka abala bangi abali wano abagenda okubanga bagenda mu maaso n'okubanga bamwaniriza, wabula era nga bangi bakyalina ebirowoozo eby'enjawulo kubanga omukyalo ono abadde musaale nnyo. Bw'oba ojjukira bulungi nnyo mu mwaka gwa 1994 okutuusa mu mwaka gwa 1995 omubaka ono Cecilia Ogwaal yali musaale nnyo okulaba nga ate ababaga ssemateeka eggwanga Uganda kwe tutambulira mu kiseera kino kyennyini. Wabula si kyekyo kyokka, abadde musaale nnyo nga ne waba atuuka mu maaso g'omukulembeze w'eggwanga His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Bw'oba ojjukira bulungi mu mwaka gwa 2022 bali mu district ey'Otuke, omubaka ono yavaayo butereevu n'amutegeeza nti embuto zisusse nnyo mu baana ab'obuwala mu district eyo ey'Eddokolo, era n'agamba nti wasaana okubaawo ate ekikolebwa okulaba nga oba oliawo ekizibu nga kino kinogerwa eddagala. Okusinziira ku baka ba Parliament, abatali bamu bamwogerako ng'omukyala abadde omusaale ennyo bw'atuuka ku ngeri gy'ayogeramu ensonga n'engeri gy'abanga ate afulumya ebigambo mu Parliament, kubanga era abadde kyakulabirako ate era nga abadde kyakuyigirako mu bantu abatali bamu eri n'abo abagala oba oliawo okuyingira mu Parliament y'eggwanga Uganda. Wabula njagala atonzikirize nsobole okuwayamuko n'abaka Parliament abatali bamu era nga wenjogerera negatiddwako omubaka omukyala owa Tororo omukyala Sarah Opendi atubulire ku kiki kyalowooza ate atubulire naddi lwe yatandika okubanga ate akolagana n'omugenzi Cecilia Ogwaal. Honorable oli butereevu ku UBC TV ne Star TV.
Kitalo nnyo tufiiriddwa ng'eggwanga, tufiiriddwa nga Parliament. Omubaka abadde mumanyirivu nnyo mu nkola ya Parliament. Tufiiriddwa nnyo ffe ng'abakyala, naddala nze ng'omubaka akulira abakyala mu Parliament, kubanga mbadde nkolagana naye nnyo. Buli bwe mba nina motion gye njagala okuleeta ku floor, naddala ku bakyala n'abaana abawala, yabadde asooka gwe mbadde nsookerako, kubanga abadde ayogera nnyo eri ddembe y'abakyala ne abaana abawala. Tufiiriddwa nnyo omuntu abadde ayogera mazima. Batono nnyo, bangi nnyo abamanye mazima, naye batono nnyo abasobola okwogera ku mazima. Ye muntu abadde ayogera ekintu nga bwe kirina okubeera, nga tatidde naye ate tatunulira oluusi ne ludda, kubanga ekintu bwe kiba kikwata ku bakyala abaana bawala ng'atenga omuntu oyo bwe kikwatako wa pate endala yabadde tabitunulako abadde wa FDC naye eridembe y'abakyala n'abaana bawala abadde tatunulira ludda oba pate n'ebintu ebirala ng'enguzi ye muntu abadde ayogera ku nguzi nga tayagala enguzi eyongere mu ggwanga lyaffe ye muntu abadde tatya kwogera kyalowooza ku floor ya parliament ate kino kye twagala babaka kubanga ng'ababaka bino bye tulina okukola okuba nti twogera amazima okulaba nti tutereza eggwanga lyaffe. Cecilia Ogwaal abadde muntu ali generous oba nkigambe ntya mu Luganda muntu mulamu nga muntu awagira ebya church muntu awagira ababaka balala nga balina ebizibu oba programs mu constituencies ye muntu abadde mugabi nga agaba yajjako newange omwaka ogwawedde tubadde ne program ate abantu babadde basanyufu nnyo kubanga abantu bangi nnyo abamanyi Cecilia Ogwaal nga bamulaba naye nga babadde tebamulaba nga physically. So njagala kugamba nti tufiiriddwa nnyo omuntu abadde ekisembayo alwanirira families kubanga kati families ziri under attack bino ebyebisyaga biyingidde ye muntu abadde alwana nnyo era nga asaba nnyo eggwanga ne churches tulwane nnyo okulaba nti empisa ezembi teziyingira mu ggwanga lyaffe. So tufiiriddwa nnyo omukyala abadde muntu mulamu.
Okay, Honorable njagala twogere ku nsonga kubanga ebbanga lya myaka nga 26 obolyawo n'omusobyo ng'omubaka ono ali mu parliament omumanyiiko ki okoze naye kumala kaseera ebbanga lyenkanawa?
Nkoze naye kati buno mwaka gwa 13 kubanga nayingira parliament mu 2011 era abadde mubaka ye muntu gwe tusobola bwe babaawo ekizibu kyonna ekikwatagana n'ababaka oluusi balina ebizibu awaka ye muntu abadde ajja nasobola okuyamba okutereza oba okureconcilinga ababaka oluusi naffe tuyomba makati gaffe. So ye muntu abadde ajja n'ayagala kulaba nti tubeere ne reconciliation okukanya tusobole okugenda mu maaso. So mumanyiiko ng'omuntu eyali extreme emabega eyo ngali too much ku opposition naye mu biseera bino omuntu abadde ayagala peace emirembe okuprevailinga mu all situations ne ku floor abadde ye muntu ayagala buli ludda erina kyeyagala okuteeka mu maaso naye nga ye muntu abadde ajja n'ayagala tukanye tutuuke ku compromise tusobole okutambula mu maaso.
Katono nnyo Honorable nga sina kwerekereza twogere ku ddibu omubaka lyaleseewo kubanga 11th parliament n'abaka bangi batuvuddeko okuli yaliko speaker wa parliament omukulu right Honorable Jacob Olanya n'abaka abalala abaze nga batuvaako mu mbeera eno kiki oyinza okugera ku ddibu ekituli kyaleseewo mu kiseera kino? Alese
ekituli ekinene nnyo kubanga voices z'abakyala si bangi nnyo abasobola kwogera nga Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal era tubadde batono nnyo mu parliament ene ya 11th parliament. So alesewo gap eyo alese gap ne ku opposition side kubanga wadde abadde ku opposition ye muntu abadde ayagala opposition wadde bali ku opposition naye babeere nga batunulira eggwanga buli bwe yatuulanga yayogeranga nnyo ku ggwanga. So yayagala nnyo eggwanga lyaffe nga Uganda si kweyagala nga ye oba nga pate eya FDC. So njagala kusaba ababaka tutunulire Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal byabadde akola tutambulire mu makubo ge kubanga ndaba nti ge makubo amatuufu ey'okwogera amazima buli kaseera ey'okwagala ggwanga lyo buli wooli wadde oli wa pate endala naye tunulire eggwanga ey'okwagala mirembe naye kikulu ennyo family okutambula nga twogera tusinzira kulaba nti families zibeera united families zibeera n'emirembe n'eddembe ly'abakyala n'abaana abawala.
Amina tweyanza nnyo tweyanze nge yembako omukyala owa Tororo mbaka Sara Opendi owulidde endowooza ye nabiki bayogera ku mugenzi kaakano wabula era tutegeezeddwa nti ennyonyi ereeta omubiri gw'omugenzi emaze okuba nga ate etuuka ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe wabula nga kyetulindiridde kwe kulaba nga ate omubiri gwe guleetebwa wano wennyini we tuyimiridde era gugenda gwagwanirizibwa Speaker wa Parliament Anita Among n'abaka abalala tulabyeko ni nampala wa gavumenti omukulu Hamson Obua kw'otadde minisita omubeezi w'ebyemizannyo Peter Ogwanga. Mu kiseera kino ate era nfunye omukisa negatiddwako munna FDC omukulu amanyikiddwa nnyo ate nga n'omugenzi gwe twogerako mu kiseera kino abadde munna FDC ate nga lukulwe abadde w'amaanyi nnyo mu mbeera eyo. Omukulu Nandala Mafaabi amaze okuba nga atwegattako mu kiseera kino atubuulire ku kiki ky'amanyi ku mugenzi batandika ddi okukolagana n'eddibu oba oliawo lyaleseewo mu kiseera kino mu kibiina. Sebo tukwaniriza oli butereevu ku UBC TV ne Star TV.
Tuyanziza sebo tuwa omukisa guno leero nga ffe bana FDC tuli wano tuli mu kaseera kazibu okufiirako munnaffe Maama Cecilia Ogwaal gwe tumanyi okuva edda ng'omuntu ayagaza Abannayuganda eddembe buli oba wa kitundu kye. Nze maama ono namumanya nga ekyali mwana muto kuba abazadde bange baali ba UPC ng'ajanga ewaffe eyo mu kyalo Mbale e Bugisu ng'alaba abazadde bange. Nemmala nengenda okukola Minister of Finance webanga twali kukola clearance okwesimbawo kwa Constitutional Assembly nze yamukiliaringa omwaka ogwo gwa 1993 okwesimbawo nga tusobola okwesimbawo nga tunabafuna clearance okuba Minister of Finance. Nenvaawo nengenda mu Parliament mu 2021 nemusanga okuva kwogwo anabeera maama wange. Cecilia abadde maama wange buli kaseera mpita mu mwana wange Nandala olyotya buli kyetugenda okwogera agamba tukole bwetu abadde mukazi mulungi akoledde ensi ino Uganda n'ensi yonna kuba omulaba watambula ebweru ayogerera Uganda n'abantu bonna mu nsi ng'ayagala ensi ennungi. Omukyalo ono abadde w'amaanyi aleetufiiridde omuntu owamugaso nnyo. Sirowooza kati saawa zino tulina abamemba ba Parliament abakazi oba abalala baavaamu abalinga Cecilia Ogwaal byakoze. Cecilia Ogwaal abadde wabayogera ali objective talina bino byekwekubira simusuubuzi mu Parliament ebyenguzi tabimanyi ye abadde omuntu ayagala ensi ye Uganda era tufiiridde omuntu w'amaanyi era bw'okyenkankubule ye tamanyi politics ye y'okukyawagana ye enmity ye bw'obeera mu opposition ne NRM tekiraga nti muli ba enemies mubeera mu opposition buli muntu ali ku ndowooza ye naye nga mutambulira wamu kyobwala bayita Mwami Museveni atumaye muganda wange omukulu tamuvumangako naye agamba kino kyenjagala bino bibogera era kikulaga nti ye abadde muntu ayagala eddembe for Uganda. Ife abanga ba Parliament tufiiridde omuntu w'amaanyi ekibiina FDC tufiiridde omuntu w'amaanyi nze nga Secretary General tuli mu bulumi bw'amaanyi tetumanyi omuntu gunazaawo afaanana nga Cecilia analwanira ekibiina kye. Twali naye okusembayo nga tulina National Council yajja n'atwogerayo yali atambula emabega kawanga tulina National Executive Committee retreat yajja n'atuwa paper abantu bonna ne bavaawo nga bagamba ono maama waffe yanatukulira abavubuka ne bamuwa programs okujja okubogerayo. Era kankubira abadde mukazi abadde member of Parliament naye abadde mukazi waka makage agakumye bulungi Mzee Ogwanga mukume bulungi Ogwala mukumye bulungi batambulira wamu omulaba nga bw'aba avudde mu Parliament afuka mukazi era naye abali abakulembeza abamu babatuukeeka oba batambula n'abasajja baabwe bakazi baabwe bafukanga oba ensolo maki baagala kutambula n'ebitiibwa mu kifo ky'okugamba nti bw'obeera mukazi obeera mukazi oba omaze emirimu gyo watuuka waka onookola ekyetaagisa waka. Ebintu by'abakazi abadde ayogera n'abawala abamemba ba Parliament abakazi abayigiriza empisa abayizeemuko balala abayizi abaganya okuyiga tufunye ekizibu.
Twogere ku mbeera ebaddewo mukulu Nandala okuba nti abadde omuntu eyeebuzibwako ebbanga lyamaze mu ggwanga Uganda afiidde ku myaka 77 ate ng'oludda oluvuganya oba oliawo mubadde muddukirako gy'ali okumwebuuzaako ku bintu ebitali bimu mbeera ki mwabalese mu kiseera kino?
Kitukubulira nti maama ono abadde ecosapedia yaffe si ffeffeka ba opposition ne government kuba bagenda bamwebuuzaako kino tukole kya nokola kitya. Omukyalo ono abadde akiwa objectively talima kyagamba ayagala okuwa ekintu kinaakulemesa akubulya amazima abadde mugezi abuula ekintu omanye bano abasooka okukola Bachelor of Commerce e Nairobi edda abamanyi ebitabu abadde mubazi w'ebitabu bw'oba omulaba yajja kwogera abaana ne figures zayogera tayogerera wa bwerere abeera ne figures era byayogera bye bituufu bagamba tukole kino kijja kuyitamu naye mukole kino era bwe bagenderedde kyakugambye oyitamu so abadde omuntu advising parliament, advising government, advising opposition. Nzenga nandala bande tugenda tumwebuza ko mama tukole tutya. Bwagamba lero tutambule bwe bwe tugenda. Bwagamba tukola bwe tutukikola. Oyo mama abadde fena tumuzamu ekitibwa atabadde omuntu omulungi. Ayagaza ensi n'abantu bonna.
Toyanza egesa abawandiisi ekibiina kya FDC omukulu Nandala Mafaabi omulidde bulungi ngattanya ku nsonga na biki byalowooza ate ku mugenzi amwogeddeko ng'omukyala omukyala omuzadde omukyala abadde agatta enjuyi zonna ku ludda oluvuganya ne gavumenti okutwaliza wamu omukyala gwetwogerako mu kiseera kino omukyala okubanga y'omu ku baliwo ng'abagasa amateeka y'eggwanga Uganda kakati omugenzi Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal mu kiseera kino wetuyimiridde gwe tugenda okubanga tulinda omubiri gwe okubanga gutuuka kubanga otegeezeddwako nti ennyonyi omulambo kwe gujjidde yamaze okubanga ate etuuka n'ekisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe wenyimiridde abaka ba parliament abatali bamu baatuuseewo dda ate nga ne speaker of parliament Right Honorable Anita Anet Among naye waali nnyo okulaba nga ate ayaniriza omubiri gw'omugenzi jjukira nti bwe guva ano gusuubirwa ate okweyongerayo ayina n'okusulako ate mu maka ge ebugolo by'onaku olwaliro oba oliawo abantu abatali bamu bagende mu maaso n'okubanga ate bamukubako eriiso evvannyuma mu ngeri emu oba otalinda kyenyinza okugamba nti eggwanga alifiiriddwa ate omuntu ow'amaanyi empagi ey'amaanyi mu ggwanga Uganda kubanga abadde muntu eyeebuzibwako mu nsonga ezitali zimu kyolina okukola olina kwekuumira ku UBC TV ne Star TV tujagenda maaso n'okubanga ate tukutuusaako enteekateeka zonna nga bwe zitambula ate ne mawulire gaffe agatali gamu okulaba nga ate tukubuulira ensonga eziba zivudde eno ne maaso awo oba oli tufunyeewo akadde tujagenda maaso n'okwayamuuko n'abapaka abalala abatali bamu ku nsonga ezitali zimu kakati njagala nkomewo mu studios gye muli atugende maaso ne programu zaffe ezigenda maaso mu kiseera kino naye nga tukyali wano Entebbe okumanya enteekateeka nga bw'etambula.
Well, thanks, Jethro, for that update on what is going on at the airport. Like you have just heard, the plane carrying the body of the late Cecilia Ogwaal has touched the ground at Entebbe International Airport, and processes are being followed to have the body cleared, and the journey to Kampala starts from Entebbe. So we are going to keep on updating you on all that, from Entebbe to Mulago, from Mulago to her residence in Bugolobi. All that we're going to keep on updating you. Don't leave, don't touch your dial. Just keep stationed on UBC TV. But now we are going back to our colleague Robert Onyango, who is also stationed at Entebbe International Airport to keep us. Okay. We are being. I'm being advised that before I take you to Entebbe International Airport for a live broadcast from Onyango, let us have a recorded submission of the late Cecilia Ogwaal before she passed on. That recorded submission was at the memorial lecture of Kabarega at Serena Hotel last year in December, and I think that was the last time she appeared in public before she left for India.
One concern which is back to me. First of all, where can a Ugandan who wants to learn about the culture of Uganda get the books? Where do I get the literature? Where would our students, we are talking about the love for your culture. Where do I get it? I think this is one challenge for the government, for parliament, for all these agencies which are trying to help us. All these things we are talking about are good, but unless we make it a reality, it's useless. I happen to have been a member of Pan-African Parliament. And when you talk of Africa is characterized by violence and whatnot, I had the courage of asking a stupid question one day in Parliament. I asked, where did this culture of violence start from? I want to know the origin. And if you ask yourself, you are an African, where did we inherit this culture of violence, killing each other, killing your brother, to take over power? Where did we get it? We inherited it from the colonial masters. The brutality that they used to take over Africa, to balkanize Africa, is what probably has made us to copy. Because I've tried to read bits and pieces about Africa. I've not found where Africa was so bloody. And if it was, nobody would have wanted to come here anyway. So I think that's one challenge we need to focus on. All these things are good. And I want to ask the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, for us to change, I need to look at your curriculum. What are we teaching our children? Because that's where it starts from. Inculcation of the love of my culture. I must inculcate it in a child so that it grows with it. You cannot blame anyone to have a mother who is a Lango like me, a father who is a Lango like my Mr. Smart, but the children are speaking English. You can't blame us. Because the colonial masters taught us that if you speak English, you are above those who speak local languages. That's how we were rating ourselves socially. So, moderator, I just want to leave you with one message. I want to find out maybe from Professor Lumumba, who inspired Kwame Nkrumah to feel the pain of Africa. Who inspired him? I just want to learn from you, because I'm also a student of political science. Who inspired these people? Who inspired the people we call the founders of the African continent? Who inspired them? I think we need to find out. And we could take off from there so that we could...
Well, those are the remarks that the late Cecilia Ogwaal made on a public lecture to remember one of Africa's strongest kings, Kabalega. She was given the opportunity to give a submission, though her submission centered much on culture. Now I'm taking you live to my colleague Robert Onyango, who's stationed at Entebbe International Airport, to give us the feel of the situation there as the body disembarked from the plane and get through all the clearing processes to Kampala. Onyango, over to you.
Well, Sebastian, thank you once again. We are still here at Entebbe International Airport on this side of the cargo side, where we are waiting to receive the body of the former Member of Parliament for Dokoro District, that is Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal, who lost life on Thursday, 18th January 2024. As you have been receiving these updates in the previous commentary, we have still gotten it from many people here are still speaking to the fact that indeed the departed Member of Parliament is leaving behind a very light and positive legacy, where not only in her own political career, but she has extended that political nature into many members of Parliament, and probably those political figures not only within Lango, but the entire country, Uganda. Probably for those members of parliament who have closely worked with her, they have testified that indeed she was a mother. And I've been speaking to a few members of the media crew, especially those who have closely worked with the late in parliament, and they will tell you that she has treated them as daughters, and probably for them they refer to her as their grandmother. Then this also testifies to the fact that indeed the person we are going to start mourning from today is not only a political figure, but this is a resource we have lost as a country, Uganda. Here at Entebbe International Airport, already as we told you earlier, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Among, is leading the members of general public and probably colleagues, members of Parliament, who are already here to receive the body. And upon the arrival of the body here, we'll also have a very few activities here where we shall see at the end of the day the evacuation of the body, because already the funeral service are here waiting, and upon arrival here we shall have a very simple activity led by the family, then the Speaker of Parliament, and then we shall proceed to Kampala, where as UBC we will also give you those live images along the way where this body is going to go through until the final place, which will be A+ premises in Mengo, and the body will be kept there. And we are also being told that there will be a vigil today at her residence in Bugorobi. Then probably tomorrow there will be a special session at Parliament to at least take her through the other programs, where we expect a week-long run of activities, and as far as paying tribute and eulogies to the late former Member of Parliament until the day we shall see her off, probably on Saturday or Sunday, according to the program issued by government. One, we want to remind you that this is an official burial where government is taking up almost 90% of the burial arrangements to ensure that the daughter of this soil be given a befitting send-off, because he has immensely contributed to the development, not only the development of this country or Lango where she hails from, but politically she has nurtured many politicians. And we have always been telling you that the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Kaguta Museveni, is a close friend to the late, and that is why it speaks to the volume that we are here being witnessing what we are going to be giving you. Then probably we are told the cargo plane which brought in the remains of the late former Member of Parliament has already landed at the commercial terminal. As we wait here from the cargo side, and upon arrival here, you will be getting those live images of what exactly will be transferring here. Probably here members of Parliament, colleagues and other VVIPs who are already here are also in a very somber mood, as many of them believe it was still very early to lose a person of Cecilia Ogwaal, but that is nature. We have nothing to do about it. That is God's plans. And as I move, this seems to be some of the family members who are already here. You have seen Honorable Abdul Katuntu. We have already heard one or two words from him. He is among those members of Parliament who have been in the house with the late. These are some of the family members, and I just want to see if I can get you one word or two from the front bench here, and probably that is the Chief Whip of Uganda, Honorable Hamson Obua. Of course, they are among those people who are already here to witness or receive the body of the late Member of Parliament. We want to also just give you a sample. If probably they will give us space, if probably they are not comfortable, then you will bear with us. This is very understandable. It's a sad moment, and where someone needs to at least at times get some energies to speak, or one or two. But let me see if I can at least begin with the Chief Whip, Honorable Hamson Obua. It's a sad afternoon, sir.
Hello.
You are live on UBC. We would just want to get one or two words from you in as far as the activity here where we were waiting for the arrival of the body of our own daughter. Kindly, can you just give us a brief history of how you had or you have related with the late?
I got to know the late in 1994 at the age of 14, when I got the opportunity to represent the children of Northern Uganda in the parliamentary mock debate for the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. Since then, we became friends. She has always taken me like a child. When I joined Parliament, she welcomed me. There are moments that we shared together, fighting for the cause of the people of Lango, fighting for the cause of the people of Uganda, We will definitely miss her because she has been a mentor to almost every political figure you see from Lango and Uganda and beyond. And as our grandmother, we want to thank God for the 77 years that God gave her on earth. We pray that God finds a befitting place to rest her soul, more specifically in eternal peace.
Honorable, how has Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal managed to get where she has left it for?
Let me say that the Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal has been a very, very unique breed of politicians that were groomed, mentored, and she also groomed and mentored quite a number of political figures. You see, we know that even if she has gone to be with the Lord, her legacy will live forever, especially in the people that she indirectly and directly mentored. Some of them are here, some of them are not here, but she is a highly respected politician, not only in Uganda. You recall that she also served in the Pan-African Parliament representing Uganda. She was part of the Pan-African Women Organization, among many others, at international fora, at a continental level, at a regional level, at a national level, at local level. Respect from the people is more or less at the same level.
Lastly, did you see this coming, where government or even the president will accord an official burial to the late Member of Parliament?
First of all, we would wish to thank His Excellency the President for the additional consideration arising from the fact that she made an enormous contribution. We want to salute him. In addition to the official burial, His Excellency the President directed that the body lies in state at Parliament for a vigil, and she will be accorded gun salute in honor of her service. We wish to salute His Excellency the President for considering the immense and enormous contribution of the Honorable Atat Cecilia Ogwaal, and for according her a befitting send-off that befits her status, the role she contributed, whatever she did for our nation, for the continent of Africa, and world over.
Honorable, just lastly, is this also possible to the still serving members of Parliament or politicians in the opposition side, that they can seriously work for their country to the extent that the President can at one time also accord this special attention to them?
It is a big lesson to be learned from across political divide, whether in government or in opposition, that what is bigger than all of us is the country called Uganda. That is where the Honorable Atat Cecilia distinguished herself as a nationalist, as a compatriot, as a patriot, and whenever she represented Uganda, she would always speak for the interests, the aspirations of the people of Uganda, but not the political party that she represents or represented. That is something that we must learn, that as national leaders, we are nationalists, we are patriots. We must have the national interest at heart first.
Well, thank you. That is the Chief Whip of Uganda, Honorable Hamson Obuak, giving us that very beautiful insight about the late, but probably saying that let's see if we can get the speaker here for just within 1 minute as the body gets in here. Well, the protocol is guiding that we shall get the speaker at a very later stage. Then, hi, good afternoon, madam. Yeah, let me see if we can also get Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng here for just 1 minute as a member of Parliament who is also coming from Lango sub-region. It's a sad afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Good afternoon.
Can you speak about the late Cecilia Ogwaal?
Well, it has been a very sad week for us, losing a mother, a grandmother, an icon in Lango, Uganda, in the entire parliament. It is extremely painful, but we accept what the Lord
has decided, we shall deeply miss Honorable Cecilia, who was a great pillar in our lives, a mentor, a mediator, one who loved wholeheartedly from the depth of her heart, and one who did all that was possible for her country. She empowered women and the girl child and advocated seriously for the empowerment of women and the girl child. Specifically, for us in the health sector, she was a great advocate. She loved health, she advocated for health, and we will miss her. We thank you.
Well, thank you, Honourable Minister. I just want to end with Honourable Peter Ogwaal here. He might be now deeply in thoughts about who has departed. We shall move with the Honourable Minister as they go to receive the body of the late Member of Parliament. Honourable Minister, just within a few seconds, what can you speak about the late as we move and receive the body of the...
Of course, first of all, I want to say I'm lack of words because I know how close I was with the late. And I've decided ever since I had the news, I've decided to write something down, which I think I'll be able to read it because I want it to go to the records of Parliament tomorrow. Because I know who the late was to me as a person, and to my career and to my family. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable. Well, that is the State Minister for Sports, Honourable Peter Ogwaal, trying also to eulogize the late Member of Parliament. But then ahead of me is the Speaker of Parliament leading the team which is going to receive the body of the Honourable colleague who is now the late Cecilia Ogwaal. At the extreme end, mainly probably at the main entrance to this venue where we are, is almost always set to witness the arrival or to receive the body here at the cargo terminal in Entebbe, and that is right away here at Entebbe International Airport. You have heard from different members of Parliament and colleagues. They have automatically said it all. Then we are told the Speaker of Parliament will address us later. It's not that we have not tried or failed to get her, but in a very special arrangement, the Speaker will address us and probably also have a one or two word to speak about the Member of Parliament, because as you all recall, during her tenure as the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, we lost the Speaker of Parliament, who was a very close friend of hers, and that was the late Jacob Olokoli Oranya. Now, with some members of Parliament who have died along the way when she's the Speaker, probably this magnitude or the stature of the departed comrade or Member of Parliament also speaks volume, and that's why the Speaker herself is leading a team of members of Parliament who are already here to receive the body. You can see the emotions here automatically speaks how everyone is sad about this terrible loss. At 77 years old, you would have wished to see her even go beyond that, but that is the end of our journey. I told you, God dictates everything. There are those who go at a very tender age of 1 or 2 means. Then there are also those who will even probably get a chance of getting to where Honourable Cecilia Ogwaal has got. So we will thank the Lord and celebrate God for the life of Honourable Cecilia Ogwaal. I'm trying to get more of interactions and here probably eulogies. Hey, Mommy, wow. You're live on UBC. Probably share with us the little you know about Honourable Cecilia Ogwaal.
Okay. Mama Cecilia. She was my sister from another mother. She was a very patriotic woman. She was beyond these details of FDC and what party. That's a lot of irrelevant to her. Her nation came first. The African people came first. Genuine and total goodness came first for Mama Cecilia. And what I see today, Ugandans should stop demoting Mama Cecilia. Mama Cecilia was beyond Uganda, beyond East Africa, as far back as when South Africa was still fighting apartheid. Mama Cecilia is among the people who supported South Africans to get Ugandan passports, to enable them to travel and to enable the struggle to continue. Today, Mama Cecilia was very key. The gender parity you hear of today, the emancipation of women, the Maputo Protocol came out of people like Mama Cecilia and others who of the Pan-African Women Organization who were denied accreditation at the AU, being called all sorts of names, including noisemakers, but they fought on. It was never comfortable all the time. It was never easy, but Mama Cecilia fought on. I am the third generation of those women, the Pan-African women who started as far back as 48, got recognized in 62, came into politics, went into business, and they are still going on now. I'm looking forward to mentoring as many as I can, though I cannot match Mama Cecilia.
Well, we didn't know where you're coming from.
My name is Grace Caballo. At national level, I'm Senior Presidential Advisor to His Excellency on Special Duties, but I'm Secretary General for the Pan-African Women Organization globally, which Mama Cecilia was the chairperson for Uganda and founder for East Africa.
Is there any lesson to take home for the young politicians from Mama Cecilia?
Absolutely, absolutely. These partisan politics can only break. If you look at Mama Cecilia, you might say she was wearing blue or FDC or red as UPC, but whatever she did was for this country. At one time, actually, I used to tease her that she's NRM because of the 4 pillars: patriotism, economic transformation, regional integration, Pan-Africanism. Those are things that drove her life every day. And we are so humbled today that the Deputy Prime Minister of Namibia, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Vice President of the ruling party of Namibia, is joining Uganda at Parliament tomorrow to mourn the great woman. So that proves to you that Mama Cecilia was beyond the petty national politics of this country, in life, body and soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, you have heard everything from her. Indeed, Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal, as we will continue getting more eulogies from probably those people we'll be interacting with, probably at Parliament or at her home in Bugorobi during the vigil. They have already spoken to the fact that indeed Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal served beyond party, color, regional, district, or probably even gender. She has entirely served Uganda. This is a lesson and a take home for especially our young politicians, that indeed you can rise to where you want to go even tomorrow or the other day, or even up to where now Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal, without clinging mainly on your political affiliation or your political colors. You can choose Uganda to be your main agenda, and indeed you can be saluted at the end of the race. This is what we are witnessing today, that Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal is going to be saluted for not only his or her own contribution in Lango, but what she has contributed to Uganda and Africa, as you have heard from the previous speaker, that indeed they are celebrating the legacy, the works, and the life of the late Honorable Member of Parliament. Here at Entebbe International Airport, we are still waiting for the arrival of the body, which we are told it is not far away from us, and upon arrival here, there will be very few activities to go on, and probably we shall start off the journey of where we escort our daughter, born in 1946. She has left this world at the age of 77. Like I said earlier, one would throw in an argument that indeed it was very early for her to depart, but between me and you, we can never decide on when, where and how we live this beautiful life. But if that comes, it is only God's position and power to decide on who is to go today, tomorrow or the other day. So we keep you here and we will get more interactions here at Entebbe International Airport. Just like I said earlier, that indeed we have been witnessing the past 4 or 5 days have been of happiness, where government of Uganda was receiving dignitaries and delegates coming for the NAM and G77 summits. But then probably there came in the sad news, which we can't even skip, and that's why we are with you here at Entebbe International Airport already to receive the body is the Speaker of Parliament here, Anetanita Among. We have already shown you, even interacted with the Chief Whip of Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Hamson Obua. There's Minister Jane Ruth Acheng. We have seen the Minister Peter Ogwang, members of Parliament including David Kabanda, then Honorable Abdu Katuntu. There are also Honorable Nandala Mafavi, the former Member of Parliament Aris Araso from Serere, and a list is long. We will keep you posted, and wherever we have an opportunity to speak to one or two, then we will give you, as they all share with us their experience. Some of them have closely worked with the late, some have watched at him from a far distance, but they have felt the impact, the legacy, and the good work of Honorable Cecilia Ogwaal. As we wait for the body, let me hand back to Thebas, who is still in the studios of UBC, to give you probably mainly about the experiences, because he is a senior journalist who closely worked with the late during his prime time.
Well, thank you, Robert Onyango, for that update. Like they normally say, that the world is like a stage where every person comes, plays his role, and leaves. Mama Cecilia Ogwaal has played her part, and she has left. You have heard it all from different members of Parliament who worked closely with her, describing her in different forms: a mother, a politician, an arbiter. She has played her part. I do remember her mediating at Koro Airstrip when the late Jacob Olanya became the Speaker of Parliament. It was a tense situation during that time, and she did mediate between Kadaga and Jacob Olanya, and things went on normal. That's the experience of a woman that we are talking about today, who left us last week. We have seen her in several fora. We have seen her playing mature politics, not politics of divide and rule, not politics of party, but politics of having a united Uganda, irrespective of your political background. That was not her business. Every time she would rise on the floor of Parliament, you could see a woman whom we all knew that she was a strong UPC person. Then she later transited from UPC to FDC. But every time that she was speaking on the floor of Parliament, she would refrain herself to go into partisan politics. She would always speak what Ugandans want to hear. She would always talk about building of the nation. She would always talk about issues to do with good governance. She would always talk about the rule of law in the country. And that's what defined what Cecilia Ogwaal was. Cecilia Ogwaal was not just a mayor politician per se, or commoner, but was also a personal friend to President Yoweri Museveni, a lady whom the president could also consult on issues, political issues to do with the Lango sub-region, issues to do with the Choli sub-region. This is a woman who was a library of wisdom that partly she could tell you what's on her heart. You take it or you leave it, but she would speak it to you. And that, I think, like what my colleagues at Entebbe International Airport have been talking about, that brought her closer to the president, by being objective and open-minded. Unlike other politicians who, even things of national matter, they normally feature in politics of identity, which Mama Cecilia Ogwaal never tolerated in her method of work. So that's the woman who we now wait to see her body leaving Entebbe Airport to the funeral home where it's going to be taken. Made to understand it's A+. Then from there, we shall leave for her place in Bugolobi for a vigil where family members and friends of the family will spend the night being part of the family and consoling the family that there is life after death, and that will be the status quo. And then tomorrow the body will be brought to Parliament, where members of Parliament will have a debate about Cecilia Ogwaal, now the late, her role in parliamentary democracy, her role in nation building, her role in the rule of law, her role in good governance, and her role in peace building. Like I told you, she was a good mediator. Some of us who closely operated alongside her in our media practice, we know how she played an instrumental role in during the peace talks in northern Uganda during the LRA. She was among the group of the Acholi and Langese who were discussing closely to ensure that Joseph Kony either surrenders or leave northern Uganda to another part of the world where he is now. So that's the woman who wished well the people of northern Uganda, who wished well the people of Uganda and Africa as a whole. You have just heard that she was also a Pan-African, she also participated in the Pan-African Parliament, where she ably represented Ugandan issues back home. She has been a mother. She has been so passionate on issues to do with health, issues to do with the girl child, issues to do with family matters. Because I still remember one time we were in Parliament, and she told the Speaker then, the Speaker had chaired the House almost up to 8 p.m. And she told the Speaker that, Madam, Mr. Ogwaal is waiting for me. I need to go and prepare for her food. And immediately the parliamentary session ended, and MPs went home. That's how passionate she was on issues to do with family affairs. She's a woman. Outside was a politician. After work, she was a married woman. No politics at home, family issues. So that's the woman that the country has lost, but her name will remain as a point of reference to many politicians and those who want to want to be good politicians. She will always be a reference point to many of them. The parliamentary Hansard is there to follow her submissions, her style of debate. She's that person who believed in filibustering style of debating, and many will have to tap into her wisdom, more especially when they refer to the parliamentary Hansard. Her submissions are there. Now let us go in to her presentation on her presentation on the Kabalega Memorial Lecture at Serena last year in December. And probably that was the last time she appeared in public.
Where would our students, we are talking about the love for your culture. Where do I get it? I think this is one challenge for the government, for Parliament, for all these agencies which are trying to help us. All these things we are talking about are good, but unless we make it a reality, it's useless. I happen to have been a member of Pan-African Parliament. And when you talk of Africa is characterized by violence and whatnot, I had the courage of asking a stupid question one day in Parliament. I asked, where did this culture of violence start from? I want to know the origin. And if you ask yourself, you are an African, where did we inherit this culture of violence, killing each other, killing your brother, to take over power? Where did we get it? We inherited it from the colonial masters. The brutality that they used to take over Africa, to balkanize Africa, is what probably has made us to copy. Because I've tried to read bits and pieces about Africa. I've not found where Africa was so bloody. And if it was, nobody would have wanted to come here anyway. So I think that's one challenge we need to focus on. All these things are good. And I want to ask the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, for us to change, I need to look at your curriculum. What are we teaching our children? Because that's where it starts from. Inculcation of the love of my culture. I must inculcate it in a child so that it grows with it. You cannot blame anyone to have a mother who is a Lango like me, a father who is a Lango like my Mr. Smart, but the children are speaking English. You can't blame us. Because the colonial masters taught us that if you speak English, you are above those who speak local languages. That's how we were rating ourselves socially. So, moderator, I just want to leave you with one message. I want to find out maybe from Professor Lumumba, who inspired Kwame Nkrumah to feel the pain of Africa. Who inspired him? I just want to learn from you, because I'm also a student of political science. Who inspired these people? Who inspired the people we call the founders of the African continent? Who inspired them? I think we need to find out. And we could take off from there so that we could learn from them and probably make our society better. But for me, I'm very happy that today I've seen the Banyoro gathered here. Every time when I stand in Parliament, I abuse them. I say, you Banyoro and Baganda, you're all stupid because you do not know that until Kabulega and Kabaka Mwanga and Chifa Witch and the Lango commander, Uwinyakulu, were dislodged from my own district. There was no Uganda. So, Tokolo is the birthplace of the nation we call Uganda. And if it had not been Kabulega and Mwanga, Chifa Witch, and Uwinyakulu, there would have been no united Uganda. And nobody wants to talk about it. If the Banyora are quiet, the Baganda are quiet, the Chuli are quiet. I'm the only helpless now trying to talk. To get people to understand. I've asked some of these Baganda, what does Kololo mean? They don't know. Because that's a Luo word. And it's Chief of Witu named Kololo, Kololo. I've asked this Baganda, what does Naguru mean? They don't know. Because there's a Luo word by Chief of Wit, who was tormented by the colonial masters because of his hardness to defend the rights of the people. You could not have slave trade in the north. You could not have any nonsense when the Banyoro and the Baganda's king were in Tokolo. They were being defended by the Langi and the Choli. The Baganda were not there. The Banyoro were not there. So let us talk about our history. When you talk about nationalism, where did it come from? Who inspired Kabulega to become a national? Who inspired him? Who inspired Kabaka Mwanga, for example? These two were rivals. They were fighting each other. But for the sake of the common enemy, called the British colonial masters, for the sake of making Uganda a safe place for them to live in, they came together, buried their differences, and fought up to the last. This is a very rich history that no Ugandan would want to forget. And you intellectuals, you talk about the good thing, good English, you forget these ugly words. They're very important for us. For me, that's what I want to read.
Okay.
So I want to challenge the leaders who are here. In fact, it's good for you, it's good for me also to share this with you. I have been struggling to have Kabulega celebrated in Parliament by having a motion moved in Parliament before all this thing came to be. Except that being such a high-profile thing, I had to consult here, consult there. Now consultation has gone in from weeks to months. But I still believe, despite what has happened, we are going to definitely have a motion, and I'm glad my daughter from Hoima is here, will move a motion in Parliament to celebrate this great man. This is the father of Uganda. We cannot deny that. We cannot deny that. These are the people who have given us what we now are so proud of and fighting for. We are fighting for nothing. The owners of this land called Uganda are these Kabulegas. We should honor them while we are still alive. I want to bless you and thank you, but I'm a proud Lango. You know where to find me.
Dokolo.
Rokamano, Rokamano, our keynote speaker, and send our greetings to our fellow Baluo. Thank you very much.
Well, we are back live. We are still following events at Entebbe International Airport. The body, in the shortest time possible, is going to be handed over to the family members, and immediately we leave Entebbe International Airport. According to the program, the body will then be taken to Mulago Hospital and thereafter to A+ Funeral Home in Mengo. That is already being done, part of the program for Sunday. That's how it's going to run. Then on Monday, tomorrow, the body will depart A+ Funeral Home at 8 a.m. and will be received at Parliament at 9 a.m. For public viewing. Then at 12 noon, there will be a special sitting where MPs will talk about the deceased and pay tribute to her. Then thereafter, the body will leave for her home in Bugolobi, a Kampala suburb, for a night vigil. Then on Tuesday, the body will depart her residence in Bugolobi to All Saints Cathedral, Nakasero, for a funeral service at 9 a.m. and thereafter to Dokolo via Soroti for a vigil at Adok Sub-County, Dokolo District. That will be the program for Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, the body will depart Dokolo for a joint council sitting at Dokolo District Headquarters from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And thereafter, it will proceed to Lira City for a vigil. Then on Friday, there will be a church service at her home in Alito at 10 a.m. and viewing of the body. Then Saturday, the burial program will commence at 9 a.m. That's what we are apparently following as a tentative program. Just in case of any change in the program, I shall keep you posted with the development. But we are going to keep on giving you live updates to do as the body leaves the airport up to when it gets to Mulago Hospital, then from Mulago Hospital back to A+ Funeral Home. We are going to keep you posted on that, and from there we shall even take you to a home in Mugolobi where you see what will be going on there, the night vigil, where also members of parliament and family members will have a night mourning the departed honorable member of parliament. But that's the woman that we are mourning today, Cecilia Ogwaal, very eloquent, very bright, a woman who had the country at heart, a woman who was not partisan in her ethics of work, a woman who was a mother, a woman who discussed issues of building families, a woman who was focused on issues to do with the girl child education, a woman that many will look up to as a point of reference in their ethics of work. That is Cecilia Ogwaal, Barbara, a team who left the surface of the earth last week on Friday. And we are looking to keep you posted with the updates that are going to be playing on. Also, we are going to be taking you to Serena shortly, where a business forum is also going on under the theme Enhancing Economic Resilience through broader South-South economic cooperation. That you have heard about it. Later in the day, you did hear, earlier in the day, you did hear His Excellency Liu, who represented Xi Jinping at the G77, plus China, pledging China's support for all countries in the global south. That is a mission that China will not abandon, looking up to seeing that the modern China development is seen in many of the global south. Like we have been telling you that most of these countries count on China of late. That's where they get loans and so on and so forth to uplift the standards and the lives of people that live in those specific jurisdictions of the world. So back to Cecilia Ogwaal, like I did tell you, she is a lady who many like referring to her as an iron lady. Indeed, she's an iron lady. She has been an iron lady because what many fear for her, she never used to fear. She would speak out her mind. Like we did say, Cecilia Ogwaal started her journey when she was given birth in 1946. She has died at the age of 77 years. She was once, people have always tried to distort history, saying that she was once Miss Uganda. She was not. She was a first runner-up. She was never Miss Uganda. She was the first runner-up in that context. So that was Cecilia Ogwaal by then. Then from there, went through with higher education, worked with the different organizations, worked with the trade organizations in Uganda until 1985, when she started her political career, when she became the acting Secretary General of Uganda People's Congress up to 1992, when she decided to be part of the group of Ugandans who participated in the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. She played an instrumental role, and that is the governing book now that Uganda is using to run, that the government is using to run the affairs of the country. She was part of the constitutional making of that book that we all look up to. Thereafter, she was supposed to be in Parliament in 2006. Partly she did lose her parliamentary bid, but later again she bounced back in 2011 up to now. She has been an MP. She has been in Parliament for the last over 26, 27 years. She has died as an MP, serving her people and serving Uganda. That's the woman who decided, who God decided to call last week to go and serve on the right hand of him. So that's Cecilia Ogwaal that many people will have to look up to, read the parliamentary Hansard to understand who this woman was, her submission, her intellectual submissions, her style of debate. Those who can access videos, you'll have to learn a lot about her. Now we can give you some of the clips, video clips, when she was at State House, and many we shall be playing them, those when she was at the UN making some submissions. So let us have that clip when she was at State House.
I would have just given a testimony, because in the last couple of years we have prayed with a theme. We came with a theme of balancing the boat, then we came with a theme of order from above.
And I want to thank my brother, His Excellency the President, that he heard the voice of the Lord. He went to the north and repented. He buried Okoya to bury the history. The ugly history had to be buried. That is a testimony we cannot ignore. It did not just happen. Your Excellency, it did not just happen. It is the voice of the Lord speaking to you. Let's bury history. And you did it very willingly. And we need to thank God as Ugandans. The king of Rwenzururu was returned recently. That is the voice from above. So I think we need to recognize that God is at work. So when we pray here, don't underrate the prophetic prayers that we utter or we pour in this national altar. So I want to thank you for giving me this topic, Honorable David Bahati, to pray for the family. And this is a very spectacular year, because my own elder brother celebrated 50 years of marriage. His Excellency the President, and you all saw it. He was very proud, and yet...
Well, on a short notice, we are taking you back to the Commonwealth Resort Hotel in Munyonyo for proceedings to do with the G77 plus China, where President Museveni is going to be making some remarks on the conference, on the summit, to do with the Global South issues, G77 plus China. This is where all of them are. Let us get there.
Through broader South-South economic cooperation co-hosted by UNCTAD, the Government of China, and the Government of Uganda. My name is Richard Kojo-Wright. I'm the Director of the Division on Globalization and Development Strategies at UNCTAD, and I'm honored to moderate this side event today. This year marks the 60th anniversary of UNCTAD and of the G77.